Hello, everyone. I'm Rock Kabatko, MASNsports.com, School of Rock, with Chris and Jill Davis. We're broadcasting live, MASN's Orioles Facebook page, and later we'll be posting this video on MASNsports.com. I know you two have been really busy kind of making the rounds here, so we're going to get right to it. We've been talking a lot about your partnership with the University of Maryland Children's Hospital. Chris, first of all, how did this come about?
We met with them during the season. I think it was in September last year, and sat down and talked to them and just kind of got a rough idea of what they're doing, some of the things that they want to do moving forward, and we just felt like it was a great fit for us, and we're excited to get to partner with them and see what we can do in the future.
And obviously, you made a visit today. What was that like?
It was awesome. We were able to drop off all the toys that we purchased the other day at Target, and saw I don't know if it's Mamaroo or Mamaroo. We've heard it pronounced both ways, but got to see the swings that we donated to the hospital and see how they worked, and got to hang out with the families a little bit. So it was obviously a great time for us.
So it's like the snow pile, they call it, where the families are able to do shopping without having to actually go out?
Yes. Yeah, we went and purchased all the gifts on Tuesday and delivered them today personally, which was really special for us. When we visited the hospital in September, that's when we found out about the need for the Mamaroo swings. And so we donated those, and then we were able to deliver them today, and then see babies actually in them sleeping and meet some of the parents and the staff. It was really special.
Do you draw kind of a crowd when you're going to the store to shop for these things, filling up carts?
I mean, we actually we were pretty low key. It was just Jill and I, and then two of the girls from the Orioles PR department that basically we just went around the store and picked stuff out. There were a few people that were like, "Hey, are you Chris Davis?" But we didn't have like a mass following or anything like that.
Maybe the beard throws them a little bit?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like in disguise a little bit.
When you signed a 7-year contract, do you feel like you were making more of a commitment than just one to the baseball team?
Absolutely. I mean, it was something that we had really talked about through the free agency process, and we wanted to stay in Baltimore for a number of reasons, but one of the main reasons was because we had built so many relationships with people in and around the city that we didn't want to leave and have to kind of start over somewhere else. So once we agreed to the terms of the deal and I signed my contract, we just kind of started looking for ways to get more involved.
Do you think being first-time parents influence at all the way you feel about this cause, what makes you so driven?
Absolutely, definitely. It's changed the way we see everything, and so learning about some of the childhood illnesses, and we really want to raise awareness for those things and show people in the community the impact that the hospital is making in these patients' lives and the families' lives. Having a child, it changes the way that you see that.
I assume it's not easy to just walk into the hospital and you see these kids. You got to feel for them. You feel good that you're helping, but it's still got to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more of an adjustment for me than it was for Jill. She actually has experience. She worked at a children's hospital in Dallas when we were right before we got married. And for me, the first few times I went in there, it was tough for me to see kids in the state that they were in, and really to see how exhausted emotionally and physically the parents were. But after you spend some time with them and you see all the great things that are going on around them, you really appreciate everybody that's involved and everything that they're doing, and you really you just kind of you want to be there for them.
And how old's your baby now?
Two and a half.
Wow. The terrible twos, did they pass right by? I mean, the threes are what really get tough, I'm going to tell you from experience.
I mean, she had no shot with me and Jill being her parents. We were both extremely high energy kids. But she's a great kid. She's getting pretty tall, which obviously she gets from her dad. But it's been a lot of fun to see her grow and develop, and all the changes that she's going through.
Daddy wrapped around the little finger there.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's going to be an adjustment this season, going from off season to back into baseball mode, because she's really daddy's girl.
Yeah, she's starting to figure it out a little bit more too. She understands me leaving and being gone for a while now, so that's going to be fun.
And the season seems like it's just around the corner right now. How long did it take to get over the disappointment of that wild card loss? Or have you gotten over it?
Yeah, I mean, I was really disappointed, obviously, right after the game ended, but I think it didn't really set in for a few days. And I watched the postseason. We both watched the postseason together. And, the more I watched the games, the more I just felt like we should have been there. And it was tough to have to go back up there and play the one game after you had, put in so much work over the past few months to get in that position. And it's just, you don't want to lose in the postseason, and you definitely don't want to lose your first postseason game and get knocked out. But, I was proud of the way that we battled, kept ourselves in the game, and gave ourselves a chance to win.
Does it further illustrate the importance of winning that division so you don't have to play that wild card game, especially on the road?
I think it's even more important in this division to win the top seed and not have to go through the one-game wild card playoff. We had 3 teams in the playoffs from this division, and that just goes to show how strong it is, but also how tough it is. So I think if you can take that 1 seed, you're in a better position.
Yeah. Breaking news, people are picking you to finish last again already. It's the second week of December. Do you just kind of shrug that off like this is what we're used to?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We've had I think people have picked us last since I've been here. But it doesn't matter what the predictions are. You still have to go out and play the game, and we have all the confidence in the world. We pretty much have the same group of guys that we have for the last few years, and that group has been in the postseason 3 times. So they can pick us last all they want. I guess it works out for us.
Looking back now, how much did that hand injury hinder you think?
It bothered me a lot more than I probably let on, or really than I realized. I think the last 2 or 3 months were when it started to become more noticeable for me. I didn't realize early on in the season the effect that it was having on my swing, but once the second half started and we got into August, I just I didn't feel the same. It was extremely painful, and there wasn't really much I could do for it.
Do you know much about Wellington Castillo? Because it looks like he's going to be your primary catcher.
I know a little bit about him. I played against him in the minor leagues when he was with the Cubs. Played against him in the big leagues a little bit, and he's a good catcher. He can catch and throw. I think any guy that we bring in is going to be in for a treat for when you start talking about the clubhouse and the chemistry. We just have a way of making guys feel welcome and helping them to fit in. So I'm excited to see him.
I know it's a business. You guys saw Nick Markakis leave. Looks like Matt Wieters will be leaving. How tough is that going to be, though? Because he definitely is one of the most popular guys, been there for so many years, one of the kind of quiet leaders of that clubhouse. Yeah,
it's going to be tough. I said this before the other day. Matt's going to be a really a hard guy to replace just because of all the intangibles that he brings to the table. He's basically like having a coach on the field, and the position that he plays is so big for so many reasons that it's going to be weird not having him here. But I know that he'll do well wherever he goes.
I think there's a good chance Mark Trumbo could be back. I'll take the scoop right now.
I have no idea. I really don't, and I think it's having been through that process and kind of seeing how it plays out. There are so many things that go into it you just don't see coming. So I have no idea what's going on. I hope he does. I really enjoyed having Mark around this year for a number of reasons, not just on the field, but he was, a great guy to have in the clubhouse and a guy that I really enjoyed playing with.
Is there anything left on a to-do list at home before Chris has to report to spring training? Is there usually a long list in the off-season?
There usually is, but this year has
been
pretty calm. Trying
Thankfully.
to simplify.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming you're handy around the house. I have no idea.
We just put together a trampoline for Ella.
Yeah.
Have you tested it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He can't. He's not allowed to get on it, but she's on it every day.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of crawling around on it one day, and I looked down, and it was like a maximum weight of 200 pounds. I was like, I need to get off this. But, I threw it together, and she loves it, so whatever.
Chris, Jill, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for what you're doing here with Children's Hospital. It's fantastic. Thank you for watching Rockabatko. Chris Davis, Jill Davis.